doing good. You keep going. Do not quit.
Not that we are an addict. The fears that we are powerful and unmeasured. It's our light, not our darkness, that our bright. You're playing small, not serve the world. There was nothing enlightened about life. That other people won't feel insecure around you. It's not just the number of us, but everything. We let our own light shine. The unconscious, we give other people permission to do the same. As we are liberated from our presence automatically.
Hey, who'd you talk to? What's going on? It is me, Mike Lepre, King Michael. This is Legit Fantasy Football, brought to you by LegitPodcast.com. It is September 15th, 2024, week 2 of the NFL season. I'm going to say it right up front. We've claimed that over the last 3 years at least, we are lock picks. Those picks, we've been 70% or above. So what happened last week? Well, there's only 2 of us. It was just me and Matt. So we ended up picking 11 games the same. We made them locks. We went, what was it? 7-3 on a Sunday? No, and then we won the Monday night and went 8-3. We ended up 8-3. Above 70%. Once again, joining me always, Master Damas. Did we not do what we said we would do?
Knocked it out the park, and we kept on going over the games, and we were like, we agree on a lot of these. We're gonna be either against each other or against the spread. We were balls. We were nails, man. Like always, though. It's nothing, but it's good to start off the week 1 like that, because week 1's supposed to be hard to decipher, but not us. We got that eye.
No, it was weird. It was a lot of it was the spreads. Think about it. Me and you were like, iffy on some spreads, and we won 2 games by half a point.
Mm-hmm.
So you got to pay attention to what they're trying to do.
I called the Patriots, right? I called the Patriots. I said they could steal that victory, and I said that Atlanta would lose by the score of 20-10. It was 18-10. I was almost to the score.
Yep. Yeah, it was good. And what's good is joining us is Sean the comedian, Captain Picard. What's going on,
Captain
Sean?
Picard.
Last week, you guys were eating dogs, underdogs, that is, all week long, killing it.
That's the hype. That's the wrestling hype we need. That's the wrestling hype the show needs. By the way, pro wrestling is so I love it. All right, guys, let's just go with the game on Thursday night, because I got to bring this up only because this is something that years back, Matt knows I said this with Tua. Remember? You remember me? Dude, I've been calling it out that he shouldn't go. Dude, Matt, right? Back me up at this. Sean, I don't know how long you've been hearing me blow the Tua horn. I don't even know if that makes sense. But you know what I mean? I was saying that no. The fact that we had to focus on his head for a couple games, that we had to watch if anybody hit him in the head for a couple games, was kind of scary. It was like a scary moment for a fan. And then this week, the dude dies head first. And I know the weird thing, they want to say it's ironic that he hit the Buffalo Bills guy that had the heart attack. But I don't think that's exactly irony. I think it's just coincidental. Right? I mean, it's just irony would be like
what's crazy, right, King?
He put his nose on a Kleenex. That's ironic. You know what I mean? All right. Anyways, Matt, go ahead.
What's crazy to me is he went unscathed last year, but he played it cool, played in the pocket, played it safe. Seems to me in the first 2 games that he tried to add running into his repertoire. But the way he ran and dove heads first, what QB does that? Somebody who never does that often. Somebody who just added that to their repertoire because he dove, and granted he dove head first, and he already had the first down when he started to dive head first, but he planted his head right into the belly of Hamlin, and it wasn't like a break, like a huge impactful hit. It was something that you see probably 90% of each play, but it was the fact that I'm not a neurologist. I hope he sees one. And I hope they,
I'm not a neurologist, Matt. We all thought. Me and Sean thought.
I'm just saying it didn't seem like it was a hit that seems like his head was still soft and recovering. And I hope for the best.
Sean, really quick, any take?
Well, I'm not a meteorologist, but it's not ironic like rain on your wedding day.
Yeah, that's also that whole story isn't ironic. Everything she says truly isn't ironic.
It isn't at all.
We use this word horrendously. Okay.
Yes.
Here we go, ladies and gents. Now, I'll pull up today's spreads because I realized, man, I went on literally I want to say Diego's spreads, and things have changed. There was a couple of big time drops in points, and there's been a lot of how can I say this? Half points added, which is a weird thing. So let's go. All right, we're gonna start with the Raiders. I don't like it, Las Vegas Raiders, but I'll say it. The Las Vegas Raiders. It's 11-11. Going to Baltimore. Baltimore's favored by 3. The over/under is go screw yourself. I can't find out. What the hell is it? I don't know. I don't know what the over/under is. I'm confused. 41, I think. Matt, start it off. Vegas at Baltimore. Baltimore is now -3.
No.
9.
Yeah.
Captain Picard's been funny this morning, but that was funny.
I'm sorry, -9. God darn.
I know that spread was dropping, but I thought it went from 9 to 8.5.
All right, -9. Baltimore, 41 over and under. What do you got?
I want to jump on the Baltimore Ravens train, but I can't. I feel like they win this game. I feel they win this game by 4 or 5 points, maybe 6. But I'll take them. I'll take the Raiders at 7 or anything above. Once it dropped to 8.5, I was like, "There's money coming in on this Raiders team," and I was like, "Why? Why is there money coming in on this Raiders team?" I think maybe there's some holes on this Ravens squad that maybe these two teams match up a little bit more than we would like to believe. And I think a lot of times, just like last week, we've seen I'm sure a lot of people public just jumped on Cincinnati thinking they were going to pick on the Patriots, and the Patriots picked on them. Look for everybody to try and tease this down into that window from 9 to 3, and they probably win. I say they probably win by 3.
All right, so you're going with Vegas +9 in this scenario.
Yeah, why not? Let's do it.
And then you're going with the over/under 41.
I think if it's going to be under a 41, it's going to be because it's the Raiders kept them close by not having them score a ton of points. Let's go with the under.
All right, under. Matty? Yeah, Matty. Sean? What do you got?
The Raiders. I thought it was 6 yesterday at Bally's, of all places. I would have taken that in a second. But being 9, I got to take the Raiders. And Baltimore, I think the reason they don't run away with it is because they're going to run the end of the game, and they're not going to score a ton of points.
So, all right, you guys both at the Raiders. Here's where I'm on the fence. Devontae Adams is projected in all fantasy projections, to have this monster day. So there's something to do with that, right? That's what scares me about this game. Why? Why all of a sudden do you think Devontae Adams is all of a sudden he jumped up 10 spots? How? For what reason? The Raiders. Sure.
I think Bowers had a hell of a week last week, and I think that's
Oh,
going to
yeah.
open him up, King.
I think if you get more than a touchdown in this scenario, especially week 2, because week 2 is what you either fix what is broken, or you just start to take a bad turn. You know what I mean? Like it's a weird week 2, always. All right, I'm going with the Raiders. Have to. Going to Chargers at the Panthers. Chargers are favored by 5. That's what I had as yesterday. Sean, who do you like?
Well, I saw a weird stat that said when teams get blown out by as much as Carolina did, and then they're favored by more than 3
At home.
You're looking at that team is golden.
Yep.
They win like 80% of the time. So that's why I'm taking Carolina.
I'm going to jump in before Sean.
Go ahead.
I'm going to tell you this. This may be one of the best bets of the day outright.
Yeah.
Because let me explain. The Panthers are not as bad as they played, right? The Saints just are good. And the Chargers are not as good as they look. It's just a fact. So the Saints can run the ball if the rookie's healthy. I like the Panthers to win this game outright, quite honestly. I do. They're at home, and like you said, they got blown out. And you don't want it to happen. Sean, Matt, what do you think?
It's been a tough one to call, and normally when I'm looking at something and I'm going, I'm not seeing it in the Chargers fashion, but it's hard to taste victory with the Panthers. It's normally because I'm scared a little bit to jump on the Panthers bandwagon, but the way you just presented it was so sweet to my ears. And I do believe this could be a Panther day. That line's too inflated. I would take the Panthers with that line, and I could see them winning that game outright. Absolutely. Yep.
It was 5 yesterday. It's 6:30. It actually went up. Like, it just doesn't make sense. I like Sean's stat. Those type of stats exist for a reason because they keep happening. All right. Tampa Bay goes to Detroit. Detroit favored by 7.5. I get to give me 1 second and I'll tell you where I was at with that one. Okay. Yep. So, all right. Detroit's a good team, right? But the Bucs are a pretty good team, right? I think they look pretty. Mike Evans looks pretty damn good, and Baker seems to like to throw it to Mike Evans. So the fact that it's 7.5, I have to go with Tampa Bay. They know each other too well for it to be over touchdown. I think week 2. Matt, what do you got?
Normally, I think that you'd be right in this situation. I think that these two teams are kind of identical, and I love Baker Mayfield. I think that if you picked him up in fantasy, you're probably getting a league winner because he's on fire, right? But one of the biggest plays in today's game, in that game, Hall of Fame's son, Antoine Winfield Jr., is going to be missing that game. He's on the back end of that Tampa Bay defense, and he's going to be needed for that cast, and he's not there.
So who do you got?
I got Detroit, baby. Over.
Sean.
I agree with both of you. I think the Tampa Bay Brady's, it's going to be a shootout today, so I'll take the over all day. And I think...
Isn't it the Las Vegas Brady's?
Yeah, it's going to be pretty soon. It's going to be unfortunate. It could it could be the Miami Brady's, which is even more.
That'd be more disgusting. But boy, would he look good in aqua. Anyways.
Yeah. All right, so I have them losing by 7. And since they're giving me that 0.5, I'm going to take Tampa Bay. I think their offense is sneaky good. No one wants to give them the credit that they deserve. And, I think it's shootout. And I think they lose by 7, but you give me a half point, I'm taking that, baby.
I can't argue. But Matt, now the next one would be Indy, who's favored by 2.5, going to Green Bay minus Jordan Love. So what's the spread actually today? What is it right
It's
now?
2.5.
I had
It's
2.5.
2.5.
It's 2 now. It's down to 2 now, but I had 2.5 yesterday. So let's go with it is 2 now, right now. So if the people bet right now, it's 2. Matt, who'd you take?
I hate it because I feel like I'm going to jump into a trap, right? Because I hate Malik Willis. I like LaFleur, and the only way I'm going to be red-faced here is if LaFleur has some magical powers and he can make this kid into a baller. And then I'm like, because I'm focused on this game. I'm like, how could this possibly be? Because I see the Colts smacking the shit out of him. Malik, I could see Green Bay getting skunked, like shut out. But I'm sitting here going, is there a recipe for Anthony Richardson to just not fall forward on a game that he should win? Is he going to turn the ball over to Jair Alexander multiple times? Like, I could see this game being 10-3 and Green Bay upsetting the Colts because I'm running to this game. I see this game as the Colts should smack them. I hope it's not a trap. I'm going to go with the Colts. Malik Willis is puke roadkill on the side of the road. And that's just what I'm going with because I haven't seen anything.
You're going with the Colts.
I'm going with the Colts, but I expect Matt LaFleur to red face me with this loser.
So let me just jump in. I also like the Colts because I actually think this is kind of obvious. Here's the thing. Green Bay, if you got Green Bay running backs in your fantasy leagues, start them. Just trust me on this, because if they can get going, then it's going to be a different type of game. If Green Bay running backs can run, it's going to open everything else up. But if the Colts come out and they throw the ball or they get some big plays early, that's when Green Bay's screwed. When they get behind like 10 points, something like that, it's an overdone case, I think. So I like the Colts.
But King, the thing I keep reverting back to when I look at this game is I don't know if you can get away with that gimmicky offense that Anthony Richardson does against this very disciplined Green Bay defense.
He threw a couple of bombs. Alex Pierce caught one.
That's all he can do. And I don't think you can do that against Alexander.
We'll see. Sean, what do you got?
I'm going to keep it short and sweet. Indy, I think, wins outright. It's I think Malik Willis is the big hot piece of wet garbage. And by the way, I said I was going to keep it short and sweet, but I'm not. Malik Willis, if you go to pick 4 by DraftKings, they have a line. It's 0.5 interceptions today. Take the over, bet $1 million on it. Thank me tomorrow.
Yeah, that's.
But you know what, Captain? They might just keep him running the option. They might not let him throw that much.
Just wildcat all day.
Something stupid.
Yeah.
Don't lose this game.
You know what's funny is we all just kind of like begrudgingly agreed on a lot. Yeah. So, all right. I'll take the next game. Because I don't want to do the other one. The Browns going to the Jaguars. Jaguars are favored by 3 at home. Here's what I'm going to tell you about today's game. I believe in the douchebag type factor of life, right? Now, I'm the quarterback for the Browns, and I just caught another case like Tupac or somebody. I keep catching cases apparently, right? He's gonna ball out this week. He really is gonna. I'm telling you, because of all the stuff that's going on, he's just that kind of guy. Like he's gonna, because Amari Cooper dropped a touchdown, like a bomb, and Amari Cooper, he's gonna eat up today. So I'm telling you, I think Deshaun Watson is actually a sneaky and smart start. in fantasy football. So I really like the Browns to win this game. Sean?
I believe that Deshaun Watson was dealing with 2 deaths last week. Both his dad and his brother.
There's always that guy. I mean, he has. That's what I'm saying. Like he has more stuff in his universe that I can't comprehend.
So even without his tight end, I think he pulls it off this week. So I see Cleveland is winning. However, I also could see this as a possible push. But I think in the end, Cleveland pulls it out.
Matt,
I got Cleveland.
it's weird that we've got outright ones. We've got some underdogs. It's weird. Explain
I think Cleveland's going to find themselves before the Jacksonville Jaguars do. I think it's very tough to let up a 17-point lead. I think that's still in their throats. And I think that when it push comes to shove, when you give up a 17-point lead, you now go, we can't stop somebody when it counts. And I think you got a bad taste in Cleveland's mouth too. But I think Cleveland's going to be coming for the jugular today. And
the thing
I
is,
think they find it.
Jacksonville is favored by 3, which means Vegas thinks it's even, right? Now, if it's even, which team has room for improvement, vast improvement over 1 week? The Browns. The Browns can just explode because he played like crap. So we all agree on that. All right, Sean, the New Orleans Saints, and I don't say New Orleans, I say New Orleans. The New Orleans Saints are traveling to Dallas. Dallas is favored by 6. What do you think of it?
All right. Number one, I don't know what these odds makers are thinking. I know they're much smarter than I am, but I could even push this up to -8 because Carr has nothing for us. Carr, you put him up against a difficult defense, and all of a sudden he goes blind. All of a sudden he turns into scent of a woman. He's looking around. He's like, "Hooah!" They can't see anything. So, I mean, with Derek Carr at the helm, I'm giving him 0 chance. I'm taking Dallas all day.
All right, Matt, you want to go next?
Dallas in a landslide. Dallas is going to beat them up. Marcus Lattimore is not in for this game, and that's going to really hurt when you got, CeeDee Lamb and Brandon Cooks running up your field.
All right, well, what about the Saints pass rush? Did you see it? Did you see the pressure they were putting on quarterbacks last week? No, I'm serious. Like how good their defensive line was, and their running backs are they've got talent, right? It's not like they don't have talent. Derek Carr is is a nitwit, right? So it's like, can the nitwit stay within 6 with the offense that he's given around him? I don't know, because you know why? I think he makes too many mistakes. I think they're gonna come after him. Michael Parsons is coming after you no matter what. And Derek Carr will make one mistake that will cost them. The 6 scares the crap out of me. So I'm going to go with Dallas, but I refuse to make this a lock because I don't trust it. I really don't trust it. There's something weird about the fact that it's around 6 or 7 at home. What do we all think that Dallas is going to kick the shit out of them. So why is it like it's 6? You know what I mean?
No.
Warriors. I'm going to go in with Dallas, but this is not a lock. I don't want to put my name behind this one. All right. Matt, the 49ers go to Minnesota. All right. San Fran is favored by 4.5. The Vikings, right, are home. What do you think of the game?
I think it's going to land on a 3. I think Minnesota covers the spread. This should be like a 6-point spread. This should be San Francisco giving at least 5.5, 6.5, right? 2 points more, I think. So I'm going to take Minnesota because it smells funny, and I'm going to win. Public's going to take San Fran. They're going to lose. What's the over-under?
So as of right now, I got it yesterday at 4.5. It's still 4.5. Over under is 46.5.
Watch it be like an under, and I just think it's going to be like a sloppy game. Something like 21-17.
All right, so let me go next.
San Fran wins 21-17.
What if I told you that I watched the Vikings last week and they're not that good? Everybody looks good against the Giants. They just do. They're actually not that good. Daniel Jones gets sacked five times, and the PFF had it where the offensive line was only charged 2. 3 of them were his fault, right? I mean, come on, man. Like, they only won. They only scored what? 21 points? What's the final score? They scored like 21 points, right? Against the Giants, right? Dude, they're going to get crushed by the 49ers. They're going to get – the 49ers are a team that's like way up here. The Vikings are down here, and they beat a team down here. It's one of those things. They look good week 1 because they beat the Giants.
I love what Justin Jefferson
49ers?
said, King.
What?
Justin Jefferson said, I'm not Garrett Wilson. And what he's saying there, right, is because you got Aaron Rodgers throwing the ball to Garrett Wilson, and you'd think that they would be pretty damn good against that defense, but it really did nothing, right? I can't wait to see him back that up with Sam Darnold. I think they do. I think they have.
And no Jordan Addison.
No, and that I was going to say that earlier. Vegas didn't see it at that big to move the line that much when Jordan Addison was ruled out. They think this is a game.
Is it Jalen Nager?
And he's good.
That's the guy.
Pretty
Right?
good.
He's available. He's available in your league. You can pick him up and you can start him, and he's going to get you some points, possibly a touchdown.
He is. And I actually have him. I picked him up in the Corrupted League, and I am starting him because he's just slips in and he's a number 2. He takes up those numbers, right? But, again, Sean, what do you think?
Sorry, Mike, I agree with Matt.
That's fine.
I see Minnesota, it's not their offense, it's their defense, which I think holds the line. And I think it's 3 points that they lose by. So 4.5. Yeah, that's in line, but Minnesota pulls that upset special at home.
Okay. So those that are listening and watching this back, by the way, guys, we're on 3 different YouTube channels, 2 different Facebook live streams. We're on Rumble, we're on Instagram Live, and there's one more, but I can't remember. Oh, also at legitpodcast.com, streaming live on the site. So I feel bad. A lot of people ask us questions, but because they're not on the stream with us, we can't read them. So StreamYard's going to figure that out for us. All right. Seattle. We're at Seattle going to New England. Now, Mr. Picard, you're wearing a Patriots hat and jersey. So for me, now let you lead this would be ridiculous. Seattle's favored by 3 as of yesterday. Today, I don't know if it changed. And they're coming into New England. Now, New England won week 1. And Ramondre Stevenson is a great fantasy running back to have. Now, what do you think of the game, though?
Here's the thing about the Patriots last week. We did absolutely everything right. Right? We got the turnovers when we needed it. Stevenson had a great game. Brissett played exactly how he needed to.
He did what he had to do.
However, it's impossible to keep that going week to week. So Seattle, I think they get at least 1 turnover against us. I don't think they do what Cincinnati did where they fumble it at the 5 and the 2. So Seattle's going to beat us, and we're going to go back to the days of great Scott. And by Scott, I mean Scott Sisson and Scott Zolak.
Oh,
and here we come, number 1 pick.
Put in
Number
Scott.
1 pick.
Oh,
That's
God.
right. Oh, God.
Oh, God. Put in Scott.
Put in Scott.
So you like Seattle.
Yeah.
Here's the thing that I'm worried about with that game, Sean. As a local New Englander, as we all are, I'm worried that that's a pack of dogs, the Patriots team right now. like they have the mentality of a pack of dogs. The coaches get them coached up to where they're playing over their heads, and then you start to have those things where everything seems to go right every week. It's just one of those weird because they're getting after it to the point where they I don't know why I like the Patriots in this game. I can't even give you a full definition, but I'm afraid they're a pack of dogs. They're going to stay in every game, and it's going to be really close. And Seattle's not that good because Geno Smith. Oh, come on now. I bet the defense is ready for Geno Smith today. I'm
Well,
being dead serious. I think they're ready.
if
I like the Patriots.
the Patriots, I'll be honest, I was one of the few people that was pounding the old drum for Gerard Mayo. I think he's an excellent coach. I think he did great putting together a coaching staff that surrounded him. I think, yes, they can do a lot of, but when you lose pieces to your defense, you lose Barmore, you lose you trade away your
That's
number
my
one
point, though.
sack master.
But you know when a team loses all like the bigger names, and all of a sudden they're like a pack of dogs for a couple of games, like they're playing like over their heads. They're making like I don't know, turnovers happen. It's just one of those runs. I get a weird vibe with them. That's why I like. Matt, what do you think? Break the tie here. No, you're muted. I can't hear you. Now I can.
Sorry about that. I got the Patriots winning this game, and I don't think it's going to be a problem. I think that Seattle not having Kenneth Walker is going to be huge. Zach Charbonnet's nice. He's good pass catching back, but at the same time, right? Yeah. You got so many games that are winnable. This game's at home. They're making a cross-country trip from West Coast to the East Coast, about as far as you can go. And Geno Smith, right?
He's Geno Smith. Yeah.
Yeah, he's coming into the Razor, and he's going to hear that crowd that's going to get crunked up. They're going to have to separate, and I don't think they're going to. Seattle, I'm not going to gauge every single game. Just because I picked the Patriots to beat Cincinnati last week, it was more along the lines of what happened last year and the taste of that victory being so close for the Patriots against Cincy. But this is a different game, different week. The thing is with this game, right?
Mm-hmm.
Is it's going to be low scoring. The game's going to be able to be won by either side at the end. I just happen to think that the Patriots must drop more points than Seattle, but I have one lock, and I think Gerard Mayo is going to do something like what Bill Belichick would do. He would reserve players and pop up roles, and this game would be specifically for captain. Then the next week would be for King. This week is going to be Jalen Polk. I'm going to call my own lock, and I'm going to say Jalen Polk a lock for the first touchdown of the game, if you want to put that in.
All right. Okay. Let's go to I'll do this one. The Jets go to Tennessee. The Jets are favored going into Tennessee by 4. I got to be honest. I'm confused with this game. I don't think I would bet it. If I got to give you my honest opinion, I think I would just stay away from this game because it's over a field goal. And I don't know what Aaron Rodgers is going to do. I don't know what's going to happen. Like, I don't know exactly what's going to happen. I don't know if Tennessee can get off to – I don't know. I like the Jets, I guess, but I don't know if I like them by 4. So I'm going to give a no call on this. I'm being dead honest. I'm going to say I would not bet this game. But if I did, I guess I would go with the Jets. Because if something's going to happen, maybe they'll pop off. Sean, what do you think?
I think Tennessee their defense isn't as good as people think. And statistically, it's not as good as people think. And the New York Jets have a ton of talent on offense. And they just had one bad game. Unfortunately, it was the first game of the year. And, I think the Jets actually win pretty mightily, probably by 5 or 6.
See, that's what it seems like it should be. That's my problem, I think. Matt?
King, I love it because you can feel it. And I'm with you. I think Tennessee covers the spread. I think it's something. There's something about this game. I don't know. Maybe even Tennessee wins. I think there's a problem between Aaron Rodgers and Garrett Wilson. I think there's a problem with trust. It's the same thing with like you got with
Oh,
Brady.
yeah, he doesn't. They don't really like each other so far.
They don't like each other. Aaron Rodgers checked out a few years ago. I think he didn't even really want to come back, but he didn't want to retire in the same year that Brady did, because who wants to walk down that aisle and have the whole moment be lived up by the greatest of all time, and you be like, "Oh yeah, there's Aaron Rodgers." So he sticks around and for 2 years for a paycheck, but at the same time, he's checked out, and I don't think he gives a shit about Garrett Wilson if he likes him or not. And I think that they just I said this last week, and I didn't want to bring up the Cincy game again, but I said there's something about Jamar Chase, and it's echoing in that locker room, and it's gonna stink, and I think it's gonna make him disassemble. The same case in this Jets locker room. They're a good team. They're decent. They should win today. They're not gonna. I think they
threw
upset.
Lazard. He threw to Lazard.
If Lazard's your number one receiver, you got a problem.
Sean, can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
If you pick the Jets and Matt picks the Titans, and I say don't bet the game, what the hell do we call that?
I don't know. That's a great question.
We need to come up with a name.
Roulette bet.
When there's one of us that just goes don't bet the game, and the other two completely split, that's as bizarre as it gets. Anyway, speaking of bizarre, the last 1 o'clock game, I'll take it from here. The New York Football Giants traveling to the Commies. The Commies I have favored by 1. I don't know what it shows now. Still 1. Let me explain this to you as the NFC East whisperer, but also as a very honest Giants fan. Okay. The Giants are horrible. The Giants need to fire Daboll and get rid of Joe Shane. Okay, that's what I'm going to say first off. They're just horrible, and this has nothing to do with Daniel Jones. So I'm not even talking about him. I'm talking about every other move they've made, everything else they're doing. Don't like him. Okay. Secondly, Daniel Jones did destroy his knee last year. He came back really early, right? Played all through preseason. He's nowhere near back in any kind of game shape. Like he just wasn't even making reads, right? So to jump on him and say, "Oh, he's completely all done." Again, over the last 8 games, where he wants to tell you, he's thrown 5 touchdowns, 2 to his team, 3 to the other team. In the last 8 games, Daniel Jones has thrown 5 touchdowns, 2 for the Giants, 3 for other teams to take a pick 6. Through another 5 interceptions, he's fumbled 5 times in the last 8 games. He's been Beetle Bailey. So he's been crushed. I'm worried he's ruined like they ruined Carr in Houston. You know what I mean? When Carr just kept getting sacked, to the point where he was just all done. He was this great talent, all done. Right now, Daniel Jones never got a chance to get going ever. Offensive lines always sucked. It still sucks. There's just the only everything's been a crap show. But who does he play good against? The Commies. Always. He always plays good against the Commies. And you know what? They do not have a pass rush at all anymore. The Giants are going to have a pocket. Malik Neighbors will have 2 touchdowns today. Daniel Jones is going to throw 3 or 4 touchdowns, and everyone's going to go, "Oh my God, is he great?" And everyone needs to just shut the up. Just stop talking about whether or not if he's great or if he sucks. He's our starting quarterback. Shut up. He's just got to play the game. You don't want Drew Lock. Listen, Giants fans. I'm sorry. Give me 1 second. This is really important. Giants fans, when it comes to the whole Daniel Jones controversy for this year right now, shut the up. All right? You don't want Drew Lock. You don't want to trade for some like Zach Wilson like you keep talking about, or trade for some other failed quarterback. Just shut up. We'll figure it out after the season. But right now we got Daniel Jones. So shut the up. Anyways, guys, I think that the Giants win this game. I think they beat up the Commies. I really do. The Giants defense. What? Oh, by the way, the bet of the day. is Brian Burns is 0.5 sacks of the day. Oh, give me a break. He's going to have like 2, 3. Thibodeau's the one I worry about, the one we drafted, but Brian Burns is a freaking beast. And I would check Dexter Lawrence's too, because coming up, dude, I'm telling you, Giants suck. I'm not denying that, but the Commies may suck more, and the Giants win in Washington. That's all I got. Sean?
Sorry, Mike, I'm going Washington. I can see Daniel Jones being trade bait. I know that sounds weird.
If he balls out.
Yeah. But like a team like Miami, you know what I mean? Or Minnesota, or even Oakland.
Miami. He would do great. I mean, listen, here's the problem with Daniel Jones, though, right now, with the Giants are facing.
Yeah.
So he has an injury clause where, like, if they after this season they can cut him, it's like 15 or 14 million in dead cap, but they also save like that amount, right, on the cap. However, if he were to get injured going into next year, it was something that was like require like a surgery or anything really bad. They can't get out of that. So that's why they keep calling to bench him. It's not because they really want a better quarterback. It's because a lot of Giants fans know this, and they're like, look, just bench him, play Drew Lock, let's just suck. That way we don't have to pay this guy. So it's like a big deal that he plays. But I think he balls out today. I really do. Like, he's warming up. Like, give him a chance. He's got great receivers, dude. Wandale's a beast. I'm telling you, Malik's a freak.
Well, I could see him like playing well, but again, I think it's more for a showcase. Like, hey, everybody, look what we got.
I don't want to argue with that. I wouldn't argue with that. They want him to pass like 4 touchdowns so he can stay to Miami. By the way, Daniel Jones is available. Like, you know what I'm trying to tell you? Like,
yeah.
I don't see that as something that's impossible. All right. Matt?
I see it the way King sees it. I see, Jalen Daniels is a great fantasy asset. I think he even balls out today, but for the Giants to win, they need the ball too, and I think they do. I think there's something with this spread that's making people want to put money on Washington, and I think that's what we call a sucker spread. And I think that the Giants beat them, and they beat them pretty good, like King says. I'm going to roll with them. I'm going to roll with the over.
I'll tell you what the difference is the Giants are fast. They built to be very fast on the edges, up front, linebackers. They're fast. And with Jaden Daniels, you need to be fast to get to those spots and try to even stop the kid. But I think if they rattle him a couple times, you get a couple of Brian Burns in your chest to the ground, we'll be good. So, all right, the ones we did, though, agree upon, there was 4 out of those 10 games we agreed upon. It was the Las Vegas Raiders +9. It was the Carolina Panthers +5. The Indianapolis Colts -2.5. And what was the other one? The Cleveland Browns +3.
Did we touch on Denver and Pittsburgh?
Isn't that 4 o'clock?
Oh, my bad. Go ahead.
So
roll on with your bad self, King.
1 o'clock, you got Vegas, Panthers, Colts, and Browns. Moving on to the 4 o'clock games. Sean, we'll start with you. We've got the Rams at the Cardinals. I had a spread on it when I played it. There's a pick now. It's a pick 'em. I had the Rams +1. I had the Rams +1. It's now a pick. What do you like, Sean?
This is such a tough game. I want to say the Rams, but I think after all the controversy with Harrison Jr. last week, I think he's going to have a breakout game. I think that Arizona and the Rams are going to have a track meet. And I think, believe it or not, Arizona has a good enough team, surprisingly good enough team to win this one. It's going to be very close, but Arizona pulls it out.
All right. Matt.
Such a tough game because I'm like, I want to run and I want to jump aboard Arizona too, but with this game being a pick 'em, it scares me. My favorite wage side on this is the over. I think it's going to be a track meet, like you said, Captain. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to take the Rams in this one. I have a feeling the Rams, better coached team, figure out a way. I think there's we'll talk about locker rooms, and Kyler Murray didn't even look Marvin Harrison's way. You talk about Marvin breaking out in a big way. What's going on in the news is when they asked him about it, he's like, I'm not, that's not my job to distribute the ball. Yeah, it is. You're the quarterback. You distribute, but he's not looking his way. I think he didn't like the fact that they went with a high draft pick, tried to force feed him a guy to get that off. You need a number one on the outside, and you need to do as many moves as you can to get points on the board. And I think there's a problem there. I think Kyler Murray is not the guy, the quarterback, the diva to be even talking. He needs to prove himself in this league. Guy's probably played 2 minutes. He needs to shut up. But there's a problem in that locker room. Give me the Rams in the over.
I also like the Rams. I am actually starting Demarcus Robinson in a fantasy on my fantasy team because he steps right into that the Puka role. He becomes that guy.
I love it, King.
They throw that a lot, so that's like a sneaky play I think for wide receiver. And I like the Rams in this game. I mean, I got them +1. Marvin Harrison might go off today. Like I wouldn't doubt he gets a touch on him too. But the Rams, they score.
In Arizona, if you look at Kyler Murray in the games he plays, now I know what that says, but in the games he plays at home, he's a top 10 quarterback statistically. The thing is, he never plays a full game.
Call of Duty weekend.
Yes, exactly. And that's Battle Zone, of course.
Yeah, when they have the double experience points weekends, he stays up all night, and he was like 0-3 or 4 for a while there.
Yeah,
just coincidentally.
That's the thing. But you want to get the site, the correct one, the Hello Kitty site. Yeah. So, yeah.
I don't like Hello Kitty. Anyways, Cincinnati's going to Kansas City. This is a game that, like, I'm going to tackle this first just because it's like, what a game. KC was -6 yesterday. Right now, they are -6.5. All right, so the reason why I went to 6.5, right, is because we're looking at maybe the best team in the league by with 10 points. Like this version of the Chiefs, the 24.0, it's brutal. And it's going to run over Cincinnati. Cincinnati is a broken team on offense, right? And their defense, they're going to lose. But Cincy wins by 6. Matt.
I've been looking at this game, and I love it. I feel like when I said last week, I said you could feel comfortable and confident that the Patriots are going to cover this spread. But I think they win this game. The same thing I feel with this. I feel like Cincy has the bad taste in their mouth of losing to one of the worst teams, if not the worst team in the league. And what do they got to do to get right? They need a win. They need a win. They don't care who it is. I mean, it's great tasting when it's Super Bowl champs. But I think that they're that kryptonite. They know they're that kryptonite. And when you're KC, you want to look across the field and you want to get it right. And sometimes it plays in your mind. And I think that Cincinnati, they definitely find a way to cover that spread. I think they win today.
So, really quick before I go to Sean. Matt, I also like the movie Rocky. I like that too. I did. But I it was a movie. Sean, who do you like?
Well, last week when Cincinnati played New England, Burrow actually should have had 2 touchdowns easy, but they both one got a big fumble. The other one was a fluke call in the end zone about dropping the pass. It was Gesicki. So really, not just that, but Cincinnati always plays Kansas City close. As good as Kansas City is, Cincinnati wins with points.
All right. So we split on that too. I'm telling you, Kansas City's going to just watch. Pittsburgh travels to Denver. Pittsburgh is favored by 2.5 as of yesterday. Let's see where they're at now. 2.5 yesterday. Pittsburgh is now. Yep, 2.5. 2.5. Matt, what do you got?
I just can't see how Denver wins this game. I think Pittsburgh rolls.
But all right. So I see this game and I think the Steelers aren't as good as they look. Broncos aren't as good as they look. I don't know these teams yet, but I look at that spread being under a field goal, and I immediately like Pittsburgh. Because I think if it comes to a slug out, run out, thing like that, Denver seems a little more finesse, where the Steelers seem a little more like pound it down your throat.
Tough.
So the spread under 3, I got to go with Pittsburgh. Sean?
Agree. Pittsburgh, I think what happens is usually when you have running backs in Denver, you get the whole air mile high thing. But when you have Warren, when you have Najee, when you have Fields, all three can run. All of a sudden, it's not as much you're getting winded where you're splitting the ball. Then you get a couple Freiermuth, and you're good to go. Plus, you have a defense that's going to kick the hell out of the guy that they think is Drew Brees. That is, but not the next Drew Brees.
And Russell Wilson is starting, correct?
No.
No,
Damn.
no, it's Fields.
God damn it! I was hoping that was going to happen. He could play Denver. You know what I mean? I guess I was pretending in my mind. I knew it was Fields, but I was just hoping somebody told me something different. Although I think awesome. Good news, AJ Brown is questionable tomorrow night.
Yeah.
Hamstring. My thing with hamstrings are, if you tweak your hamstring on a Saturday, right, and you got to play Monday night, I don't see how that heals. I'll be dead honest, and more so, you're definitely at risk of really hurting that hamstring if you play.
Last year we were talking more about hamstrings than at the Blue Oyster, and it was ridiculous. So this year, I don't want hamstring gate again. Can't deal with it.
That scene,
one hamstring a week.
That scene when they roll up and it's the Blue Oyster and you hear dun, 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 dun.
Boom, 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 boom,
It's unforgettable for any kid who grew up in our timeline. Okay. That would make Pittsburgh actually our first 4 o'clock. So let's move on to the next game. Sean, Chicago is going over to Houston. Houston is favored by 6. Let's see where are my notes on this. So the Texans, to me, look good. The spread dropped. It was 6.5 yesterday. It dropped to 6. Chicago looks good, but no. I mean, they got some good parts, right? But you got to trust. I don't know. I personally think Houston wins by more than a touchdown. I think Houston's actually a really good team. Even their defense, I think they're a good team. Sean, what do you think?
I think what happens is when you're talking about Houston, they're an incredible team. However, the Bears defense is bringing back the Bears. You know what I mean? Like the
great.
brown Bears.
I'm arguing that, yeah.
And when you're talking about like brown beers are good beer, like it's those black. I'm sorry, what? Okay, we're gonna stick with just normal beers, and those beers. Not talking about every beer is just as good as the other one.
Kodiak.
Yeah, I'm taking the Bears because I think the Bears defense gets it done, keeps it under 6.5. Houston wins, however, but Bears keep it close enough.
Matt,
I'm gonna. I was undecided, but the captain has kind of steered my ship. I'll tell you what. I'm gonna go with the Bears. What's the over in that?
Houston and the Bears. Why?
46, 47.
I don't know. I don't actually. I do know 45.
Yeah, Bally's has it at 45.
All right.
Wanna go with the under?
I'll be the soup spoiler. I like Houston -6 on Sunday night. I think Houston is better than advertised. Chicago Bears have a great defense, but with that offense and the way things can happen quick, you can get down by more than 10. And then what are you going to do? So I like the Houston Texans. Monday night game, guys. Atlanta goes to Philly. We just heard the A.J. Brown news. Boy. Matt, who do you like? 6.5 Phillies favorite on Monday night.
I love Atlanta in this situation. I feel like this is a get-it-right game for them. That pass and attack we didn't see last week for Atlanta is going to be there because Philly doesn't really have much of a secondary. So the 6.5, yes, and I could see them winning that game.
Yeah,
especially if A.J. Brown isn't playing. Then
yeah, I think 6.5 is too high.
Way too much. Way too much.
But Sean, what do you think?
Well, as of last night, I had Philly, but with A.J. Brown out, yeah, I would have to take Atlanta. So I'm going Atlanta.
Doesn't that make a big difference? If A.J. Brown doesn't play, to me, that makes a huge difference for the offense.
Huge.
Now you're asking Jalen to make more reads.
Yep.
And that's not going to go well. And that doesn't go well. It's been proven. No. So I am also with Atlanta. Now, guys, this is actually pending A.J. Brown not playing. If A.J. Brown plays, don't go with our pick. Because I would actually back out of it too. Because I think
I still got Atlanta with the 6.5 with AJ playing.
But I'm just saying all three of us agree on Atlanta. But all three of us are agreeing on Atlanta with the caveat that AJ Brown does not play. Correct? That makes sense. Let's break it down for what we have for everybody for the day, and then we'll give some quick fantasy advice, and we'll get in and get out. If you get some prop bets you want to throw, by all means.
I got to go early, gentlemen, but I apologize. Thank you so much.
Captain, enjoy the ship.
Thank you, everybody.
Matt, let's run it off. Las Vegas, Carolina, Indianapolis, Cleveland, Pittsburgh, and Hotlanta. That's A.J. Brown not playing. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh, they're locks. I don't know if you understood that. That's what the graphic that. Did you understand that? They said it's a lock, and they made you. I didn't know if you knew. Prop bet. So really quick, I think the best one's Brian Burns over a half a sack. Because Jaden Daniels runs and he scrambles, and Brian Burns will catch you. He'll catch him. He'll catch him once. Matt, what do you got? You got anything like that you want to offer?
I love Jalen Polk for the first touchdown of the game. I think he's going to get it soaked with targets today. And he is plus 900 with that. And you put $5, that'll just get you like 190, 200, something stupid like that. I think it's $5 gets you 90. Yeah, $5 gets you 90. We'll throw $5 on Jalen Polk in the first touchdown. I'll be happy.
We actually like Indy. I mean, we like let's see. We like the Raiders. We like the Panthers. We like the Browns. Those are all underdogs, right? Cleveland, Carolina, Las Vegas. That would be actually, you know what, Matt? Cleveland and Carolina winning outright against the money line as a parlay. I think that's the play of the day, right? I really like the fact that Carolina will win that game in an upset. Yeah. And I think that Cleveland's going to win that game in an upset. And let me just go through what it would cost here, Matt. So if I'm looking at the two games, and I go to Carolina money line, and I go to Cleveland money line, and you will parlay with that some bitch. Let's see. I don't want this one. I don't want this one. I want this one. I want that one. All right. So if I took those two and went outright, I put $5 down. Well, nope. Sorry. So on a 2-team parlay, if I put $20 on it, I'd win $117.
Oh, it's beautiful.
if I put $10 on it, you'd win $60.
I
What's
think
the
it's
risk?
because it's
5
like,
gets
it's
you
like
30. Matt,
like
$5
that.
gets you 30. Put $5 on Indy. I mean, I'm sorry, I keep saying that. On Cleveland and Carolina to win against the money line as a parlay. $5 gets you 30. There's nothing wrong with getting an extra $30. Right, Matt?
I love it.
So overall, Las Vegas, Carolina, Indy, Cleveland, Pittsburgh, and Hot Atlanta. If there's a minus AJ Brown, Matt, anything to say before we wrap up?
Good luck. Win your fantasy. Come here for all your expertise questions. We got the answers.
Hey, we keep getting them right. Over 70% on average. Last week we were over 70% again. We keep saying it. We keep doing it. That's all we can do, right? So, for Captain Picard, for Mastradamus M1, it is me, Michael the King, Mike Hill. This was Legit Fantasy Football, brought to you by LegitPodcast.com. Tonight at 7:05, we have Legit Paranormal. Please tune in at LegitPodcast.com. Drop a like, leave a comment. Also subscribe. We would love that. We would love if you did all three. And we never ask. I never ask.